Okay, it's Tuesday, November 9th, and I wanted to, at the end of the session here, pull up the CrowdStrike price action and show you what developed. As you recall in the first video, I bought here on this third bar area where it was pulling back to both yesterday's close and the overnight support area, expecting a bounce. And you can see here we did get an initial bounce, which was nice, and then eventually consolidated, and then eventually came back up into the upper end of the range and formed another green bar on the day. And again, the context was the key to this whole trade, and it's another type of trade I look for, and I wanted to show a good example of it here. Typically, the best trades are when you get this first 15-minute bar moving green, and then you hold the midpoint of that bar, and then you kind of push up for either one push or sometimes two pushes up, usually in the early part of the trading session. So those are usually the best trades, but this is another type of trade to always keep in mind, and the context is the key. So when you have a green bar from yesterday, one of two things typically happen. Either stock, gaps up higher and then first wants to make a pullback into that range, holding the midpoint, and then eventually curl up. Sometimes you have a green bar and you open up kind of to the lower end of that range and hold and then start up. So, again, as long as you're above yesterday's close and the overnight and holding overnight support, it's a good opportunity to buy at the bottom of a green bar also for a push at least to the top of the green bar. In this case, this was an opportunity where it moved up first and then came back into the range and had an opportunity for a good bounce. And that's what the 15-minute chart showed here. This first push up was a big push. It was 10 points. So, if you got in early on like the 5-minute bar or something, just wanting to play the continuation, you would have had to take a small loss here at the midway point of this first green bar. And I guess you can come back in and play a bounce trade later. I wasn't watching CrowdStrike early on, so I didn't play that. But when I looked at the charts, I saw that this pattern was developing, or price action was developing, where it came down to a good level of both, like I said, overnight support and yesterday's close. So I bought it there, and you could see here it did eventually move up as expected for a nice gain. So wanted to point that out. CrowdStrike today, another type of trade to always look for when you have a green bar from yesterday pulling back into the range with into a good buy area with a very small stop, and if the volatility is strong, then an opportunity for nice gains.